Hi, there you are. Welcome back to the garden. Today is Sunday, September 3rd. I hope you did your homework. This is going to be our third installment of apartment gardens or winter gardens inside. We're going to go ahead and clean up the ones that we've already put in containers. We're going to take a look at the other ones that we were waiting to root and get them in containers. Now, I'm old enough to remember Grandma keeping the twist ties off the bread sacks. They never actually explained it. I think I figured it out. I'm going to show you how to use a twist tie. So come on, let's take a look at what we got going on here. Now if we look at this, Carla, we've got some spots on the leaves. We don't want that to infect the whole plant, so just trim that off. Now in the garden, I would normally pull this sucker off, but what we're going to do is let that continue to grow a little bit. Then we'll remove it and we'll go ahead and root it, and we'll continue to add them to containers. Now this, Carla, doesn't appear to have any leaf damage, but we're going to go ahead and get it where we can support it. So I've got a stake measured down to the bottom about where you want to support it. That's where the twisty tie comes in. Found it's easy. Split it about in half, fold it over, and then just twist your stick, and that'll make it tight. You got about 2 equal halves, more or less. And if you kind of make a circle with it, and then take your stake and push it down in here, and what you want to do is when you're twisting this, you don't want to twist that tight. You want it tight against your stick, but not against your plant. You want to have your plant, you want to have it loose enough that your plant can grow easily. You just make a couple little twists, and that'll hold it snug, and that'll be firm enough, and that'll give it enough support. It'll continue to grow right on up. Take a look at a couple of our sweet potatoes. Now if you have any leaves that are damaged at this point, go ahead and just take them off. This has already got a new leaf started right there. And this large leaf down here at the bottom, it's still doing good even with a couple holes in it, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm not unhappy with that. Now when we find a container for this, we're going to want a little bigger container. If you can see, the roots have already started coming out the bottom, which is okay. You can just hand prune these off. Not going to hurt the plant at all. Oh, well, while we're down here, let's go ahead and take this leaf off. And this leaf off. That's all there is to it. Now I ask you if you did your homework. Finding a nice container. You're going to want something about this size, maybe the next size up for the sweet potatoes over the winter. Found a nice little blue one. We're going to go ahead and put a basil in later. We got a cute little pink one if you've got a girl. Here's the deal. You're going to get a container. You got to make sure that there's holes in the bottom of it. And then you want a saucer that's going to match. Remember, we're giving these away to people. I'm just fine in a bucket like that. The self-watering ones are pretty good. They've already got their bottom on them. Let's do something with our basils here. The Thai basil we left in the water is rooting very nicely. The sweet basil is actually, the sweet basil has started to put on roots. It's enough to go ahead and get in a container. See, it's rooting down from this bottom node. There will be roots from there. This branch here looks like it's dying back a little bit. So let's just go ahead and clip that off. Cleans that up. Now this whole stem will root. We're only going to plant it up to that next node. Just backfill. Snug that down in there. I'm going to add a little soil. Just add a little soil. Give it a nice little drink. No reason to waste this water. And there you go. Sweet basil. Let's take a look at this Thai basil. I'm also going to do it in a small container until it's ready to repot. And you just use your finger, make a hole, and some nice roots. Roots all down in there. Be gentle. Backfill with some soil. Gently snug that down. We're going to add a little bit more. And while this one was rooting, it started to put on a flower. Now we could go right there, but we've already got a branch down a little lower, so we're going to take it off right there. Now you can pinch that off if you have decent fingernails, or you can just clip it off. And if you see, it's already it's already double, triple branching right there. It'll start bushing out nicely right there. Just water it in. Alright, we have 2 more basil plants. Hopefully I won't forget and trim it up and eat it. Okay, one of the fun things that we've had on the windowsill, if you can see, we took the top of a pineapple off and decided to go ahead and root it. The way it's sitting in here, it always looked like it had enough water, and just recently the roots have gotten big enough that we have to do something with this. So I'm going to go ahead and pot this up. I didn't put it in the garden because we don't have enough time. That'll act as a nice little tray. But it's obvious it needs to go into some kind of container. So I'm just going to set it right on the top of the soil. And we're going to add soil in around it. And just snug that down. It's going to want to tip over. Just give it a little drink. Now all you got to do is decide who you're going to give these to. In episode 4, we'll talk more about the sweet potatoes and how we want to handle keeping them to a manageable size. It doesn't appear that the leaves want to root, except you remove it. Look at that. And all of these nodes here are going to make roots. Now the leaves are going to be gone. That's amazing. We'll just have to see if we can get a plant out of those roots. We'll take a look at those in episode 4. If you want to know how we selected plants for an apartment garden or a winter garden, click that link right there. If you want to see how they rooted and we got them in their first containers, click that link right there. I want to thank you for stopping by. And remember, until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant. Let's go plant garden.